Beyond the Red Carpet. Today we're going to talk about the real soap opera that is playing out now in Britain and the United States. I have with me Patricia D, known as P. Dinah on YouTube. She's a very well, not infamous, but a very popular YouTube personality. Welcome, Patricia.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure because let me give the viewers a little bit of background about you first. You have started a nonprofit called Life Smart Education, which you teach kids how to be good human beings and get them prepared for living in this world that we have now. And what was the impetus for you to start this YouTube channel to teach the rest of us what is going on and what is going wrong with the royal family?
Well, my background is I've always loved the royal family. And my professional background is in teaching life skills. And when I saw these two worlds collide, and I'm also an actor, I said, okay, it's time to put on a show, because we have a show essentially, right? We have a soap opera on our hands, right? So when all of these things kind of came together for me, I just felt like it was the right moment. COVID had just hit, and who we're talking about just was acting up so bad. I just thought this will give me something to do. We couldn't go into the schools anymore. We had been planning an anti-bullying puppet show. We were planning these shows to go into all these schools, and then all of a sudden the governor closed down all the schools. So I'm like, I didn't have much work to do, and I thought, let me just go ahead and do this. And that's how it all came together, essentially. And as you see, it hasn't stopped.
No, it hasn't.
And you are very popular.
Yeah, you are very popular. I mean, sometimes you pop up a few times a week, depending on what's going on. But the viewers might think, oh, I don't care about the royals. I don't, or else they're thinking, oh yeah, I love Diana. You and I both were interested in Diana. Mm-hmm. But this also has repercussions for what's going to be written in history about the history of the royal family, but also America, because there are hints that Meghan Markle might be moving to New York or setting up a house in New York in order to run for office there. So this does affect America as well as Britain.
Absolutely. And I also think it affects the minority community, because what she has done is really revolutionary. She is a woman with some color. She comes from America. She's divorced. She is an actress. She is someone who you would not typically think would be one to join the royal family. So the things that she does is very important, and it's also reflective of the people that she somewhat represents. And, myself being a woman of color, an actress, American, divorcee as well, this just didn't seem right to me. She was, in the beginning, someone who I thought looked like the second Diana. And then I'm like, oh no, she's not the second Diana. She's far from that. And that's disappointing. And not only that, she's gone beyond that. And she's just made us look bad. And it's really embarrassing. She has taken an ideal opportunity to do really good things in the world, and she has blown it. She has blown it because of her actions and the way she goes about doing things. And it's really sad and tragic all at the same time. It's just terrible.
Well, I think we all had hopes. I mean, everybody was saying, oh, good, an American princess, a woman of color. She's really into all these helping people, and apparently that is proven not to be the case. She is more interested, and I'm just speaking for myself and from what we gather, she's more interested in helping herself than others, and she's a really good actress because she got where she is now.
She can be very deceptive and calculating, and those are things that become very natural to her, obviously. So she has done very well at that, I must say.
Well, tell us some of the ways. I know a lot of viewers, like I say, are not educated in what is going on. Some people just, it's not on their radar, but some of the ways that Harry and Meghan, Prince Harry and Meghan, have subtly undermined the monarchy in what they have done and said, and what we can learn from. That's what your show is about, is what we can learn from that.
Right. So for me, it was important not to just talk about them. I wanted people to get something out of it that was meaningful. And because I am in education, I want it to be about, well, what can we learn from this poor behavior? And that is why that is the twist, so to speak, of what I do. And I think it's more aligned with what I know. I know that when I'm teaching young people how to behave and how to learn important skills to get ahead in life, you use these things usually to be the better version of yourself. And that is something that I know how to bring across really well when I'm teaching it. And so I feel like Meghan is almost like a student, because she's not doing the things that she really should know she should be doing. And I think she's so consumed with herself and her own wants and needs that she's bypassing all of these important things that are making her not look like a very good person. And it's sad that people even fall for the things that she is saying, because they may think that, well, she's behaving just fine. She's just being a strong Black woman, because I've heard that before. And I don't want people to think that's what she's being. She's not being a strong Black woman. First of all, she's never really claimed herself to be a woman of color. She's always considered herself a Caucasian woman, and that's fine. But to perpetrate that in a space that I walk and live in every day as a Black woman is appalling to me. And you're going to behave like this and say you represent someone like me? Oh no. This is when I had to step in and really say something about it. But I don't know, Francine. I don't know, what do? You try to, do what you can, and, hopefully it will go better for her, because I can only see it getting really bad for her husband. This is only going to really be a lot worse for her children and for her husband, and also the royal family. She's
Definitely the
ruining
royal
people's
family.
lives. Yeah.
Right. She's not just, she has done damage to the royal family, every member of the royal family. And a lot of people would say she's done damage to her husband, because Harry's former girlfriends have just come out saying that he was damaged to begin with. That's one of them. I won't mention names, one of the two major women in his life prior to Meghan. She said that he was damaged. He's just a broken guy. And he blames it all on the death of his mother, but that did not do anything to damage William. I mean, William's living this wonderful life with a wonderful family, and he's going to be king one day, and he's got the integrity. Where did Harry go wrong? What happened?
I think because he has always been kind of second best, played the, the spare, that could have been psychologically something that has affected him.
Harry was a wild child. I mean, the palace hid a lot of what we are seeing now. His wild and his craziness was hidden by the palace. But you were saying earlier to me that going in the army was his last chance, basically.
Yeah, essentially that was the saving grace that he had to actually better, himself, because he had a lot of bad qualities that were just not going to fare well for him, and then I think he became a very loved member of the royal family. He was doing a lot of good in the world, and they wanted to, help marry him off. But, despite all of that, the women he was dating, they saw the lifestyle that this was going to be for them, and they didn't want anything to do with it. So Harry really needed a good woman to help carry him through what he was getting prepared to do. And he just got bad luck. This woman is doing bad luck all day long for him.
Very bad luck, very bad luck. Let's go through a few of the lies that they tell, and people will listen and think that it's real, and then they don't get the follow-ups about them proven wrong. So let's talk about first off, the marriage that Megan claimed that they were married 3 days earlier. What bothered me when I heard her say this, what really, I just wanted to freak out, is because she said, the way she said it, she's, the big wedding was for the world. Like,
Right.
for the world. We did it
Thanks
for
for the favor. Thanks for
Yeah.
doing that for us, right?
And it's like she said she was married 3 days earlier, but that's not true.
Yeah. I mean, who does that? Really? What person in their right mind would just say a blanket lie like that? I mean, this is a seriously disturbed person to just call out a lie, especially on the Archbishop. Like, do you know who you are lying on right now? Like, you got issues. And it's really sad because Oprah, I don't know what she knew, but I think it would have done her some good to follow up on that later, because I don't think she ever said anything about that blanket lie, because Oprah is not one to be lied to, right? We know what she did when she had that interview with James Fry. Do you remember that, when his book came out and there were lies in there? Like, she went off, and her integrity is at stake. She needs to say
she has
something.
lost quite a bit of favor with viewers. I know that, because she first off, she didn't make any follow-ups, and she didn't come back and say, hey, this was wrong, I apologize, I didn't do my homework like we always have to do. And that's what I praise you for, is the homework that you do for your show. You always come up with what's right and what's not right, what are lies, which is really appreciated by all the viewers. So what else did she say in that influence?
Oh my goodness. So, Piers Morgan said there's like 17 lies in that, and talking about her son not being able to have a title. And we know that they were trying to downsize the monarchy already, but she's trying to make the equivalation between her son being of color and her son getting a title, which is nonsense. That's not the truth. First of all, the child's not even eligible for that until the queen dies, but Prince Charles wants to downsize the monarchy. It's very expensive. So, these are things that she knew about, but she misconstrues that and to tell the whole world that that's not the case. And I can only imagine Prince Charles being beside himself with everything that's going on, because, he knows what's going on. So people need to see this. And that's the thing that I think is really to her advantage, because she knows Americans are not really going to understand it, or maybe they don't care, or they're never going to hear what the truth is. So she has that at her advantage. And this is why I think the queen is now going to step up and have this lawsuit against them for the lies, because like the article mentioned that I read from in my blog, is that a lot of Americans are falling for the lies, because our system is just not set up the way it is over in England. We just don't get the ins and outs of it. Some of us do, but a lot of people don't. And they'll see this poor girl. This is how they'll see her. She's been victimized by this royal family. And she can say these things, and it just is terrible if she's able to get away with it. So lie after lie, she is able to essentially use it to her advantage for those reasons, and
yes. Well, let's take the monarchy away for a minute, and let's go on just the family aspect of it. Harry has yet to meet her father. She will not have anything to do with her father. What kind of a person doesn't want to have their father back? My father's passed, but I would do anything to be able to see him one more time.
Absolutely. My father died. He recently passed away in 2020. And to see how her treat her father like this is so appalling. What has the man done to deserve this kind of treatment? What has this man done that would say, anyone watching us on the outside cannot justify this. And what Oprah did during that interview, I thought was so wrong, because she says, well, she kind of reinforced, it was a leading a question, so to speak. She's like, Oprah said to Megan, so essentially he betrayed you, right? Like it was like a leading question. And then that led Megan to say, right, he betrayed me. You know, it was like, look, your father did what he had to do. He's a grown man. And if he wanted to have someone come out and take pictures and didn't tell you, what is wrong with that? Why is that so horrible to never speak to the man again? Surely Oprah cannot justify this. Who can? Who can justify this as being a good reason for not speaking to your father ever again? You know, it's appalling.
Yeah. And he never got a chance to really rebut any of that.
No, and he tried. So remember, he went to Oprah's and gave her a letter. Why is Oprah not speaking to him? His name has been defamed. Like, he needs to be able to speak out. It's right. So wrong, and more people need to speak out. You know, and I think what Hollywood is going to do, they are going to disown her. They're not going to fall into her circle. But I think at the same time, they have a responsibility to say something, because what she is doing is so wrong, to hurt all these other people, these innocent people. And she's the only one with a voice. How fair is that? I mean, Samantha and her father have been speaking out, but they need to be on the same platform level that Megan did when she gave that interview. He needs a chance to rebut everything that she said. And Prince Charles, too, needs to be able to do the same thing for the royal family. Why are people not doing that? Why is Oprah not allowing that?
I hear Prince Charles is just devastated by this, by having been thrown under the bus by his own son.
Right.
But by maybe his daughter-in-law is one thing, but when your own flesh and blood, your son does it.
Right.
Oh my gosh, what a stab in the back that was.
It just makes it so horrible for him. I feel really, I mean, I'm not much of a Prince Charles fan, but I do feel sorry for what he is going through, because it's wrong, you know, so. Yes. I don't know. What can you do at this point? Try to get out and say something. Hey, Prince Charles, you could come on my show. We could talk about it. He come on your show, talk about it. Hey, let's talk about it, Prince Charles.
Charles, you're welcome to come anytime you want. William too, actually.
Exactly. Come on.
But you know, this is a person that did not have her father, or did not have any one of her family members except her mother, and she invited strangers. She had never met. They had never met George and Amal Clooney, but they are A-listers. We have to have them at our wedding, right? And so many others. And she had no friends and no family except for a few co-stars from her B-list TV show that she was on. She didn't really have any history there. I mean, when you have a wedding, that should be a clue to everybody what kind of person she is.
Right, because think about this. She didn't invite her family because she would say she didn't really know those people. Well, you didn't even know those celebrities. So how can you even justify that? And what I think is really good is that her Raglan family, the people, the other Black side of the family, they really came out. They wished her well. They know she's never going to speak to them again. And they're okay with that. And then you have the Markle family who is speaking out because they're not okay with it, because we were there when, you know, no one knew her. So I think they're both right in how they're going about it. But I think people should also see how she is treating her family, because that's one of the first things that you learn in dating, right? You look at how your future spouse treats their family to know if they're a good person. We can see, you know, the whole world can see how she is treating her family to know she's not a good person, because it's not just her father, it's the whole Black side of her family that have chosen not to speak out, that she is also dissed. We've seen the pictures of her with family members. You know, these are people that knew her when she was a young girl. So how can you go out and say that you want to do good for the world, people that you don't know, be a humanitarian, and you don't even recognize the people in your own family that knew you before you became famous? And that is what they said. They said this all started to turn when she got her job on Suits, because that was the first job that she got that really put her up there on a higher level in terms of celebrity. She knew she had made her mark with getting this television show. And what I think is appalling, she thinks, oh, you just get this little basic, cable show, and now all of a sudden you're taking it all the way to the royal family. Like, she hasn't even really built much of a career as an actress, but she has in her head to be able to elevate herself to such a higher statue that she said she was only going to work with A-list directors. Like, but you were just in a cable show, and now you're in the royal family. Like, what gives you the right to say that's what you even deserve? The audacity. Like, your head is so big right now. No, it's a shame that they didn't get to her before she got that job on Suits, because that's where it all went wrong for her. I think that's when she just thought she was too good for everybody, but little did she know that really wasn't that big of a deal.
No, it really wasn't. But I people were comparing Princess Grace to her because American actress. Grace was a role model, because she actually embraced, she admitted she wasn't extremely overly excited about the role she took on, but she did it with grace and style and class. And she did the Red Cross in Monaco. She did good for the country. Absolutely. And we were all hoping that would have been the case again here with Meghan. But alas, it didn't come to be. I don't think she's ever going to be. I don't think she can. What do you think? Because you're the one that studies this a lot more than I do. Do you think she could ever say, I did something really wrong and I messed up? Can you give me a second chance?
That was my hope in the beginning, was that, you got to do better, Meghan. That's how, when you go look at my very early videos, there was hope, I thought, because I thought she just wanted some independence, a little bit of, okay, I don't want to follow all these rules. I want to try to change the monarchy just a little bit. But the more emboldened she got to do the things that she wanted to do, and they were just so egregiously bad. Like, this is like, you have poor manners at this point. You don't do these things. You don't come into an institution and try to tell them what you will and will not do. She was doing things that showed you that she did not want to do this from the very beginning. And Grace Kelly knew what her role was. She didn't come in to try to change that role. And this is how she really could have learned from Grace Kelly. And that's what Princess Diana did. I mean, she, saw Grace Kelly, and I think Grace Kelly was a mentor to her, even though she was American. And Diana was more of an aristocrat than, Grace Kelly, but still, she could learn a lot from this woman who was older than her. And I think what Meghan lacks is the ability to try to learn and to be better. I think she thinks that she has all the answers, that her way is the only way. I mean, her father has said this, what she wants, she's going to go after it. But I think even if you feel like you know a lot, it takes a lot to be able to humble yourself and to be a good listener and to step back and understand your place in the world, because that shows integrity. That shows a good person. That shows someone who is humble enough to not be so big-headed. And it's easy to fall into that trap of egotism and to be like, I'm greater than everyone and do what I say. I'm the best in the whole world. That is, to fall into that trap is so bad for people, because it leads to nothing good comes from that. And what are you teaching people? What are you showing people when you behave like this? She has a bigger role to play, and that is the world is watching. The world is watching, and how you carry yourself and how you behave is going to come off and rub off onto young girls who look at you as a role model. This is why I loved Princess Diana, because she was so humble, but yet so powerful in the things that she did. And you could see she was very graceful and wanted to do good. And I learned a lot from watching her. I became influenced by Diana. Imagine who's becoming influenced. Yeah, imagine who's becoming influenced by Meghan. And I can assure you, there are young girls out there who are influenced by her, who are empowered and who are emboldened by her bad behavior. And what does that do to the young kids out there right now? That is what really upsets me, because I educate young kids about behavior. And this is something that that is really in my blood. It makes me so upset because I'm out there trying to educate young people to be good people. And this woman is out there doing the complete opposite. And she is essentially harming our young girls who are influenced by her. I really believe that.
Well, and then there's this saying that children learn what they live, and her children, if she continues on this road, are going to learn to be the same. And God forbid that something happens that they understand that this is not the way that we're supposed to be living.
No.
But it's just very sad situation. It's again the abdication of the king in 40s, 50s.
In the I think 30s. Oh my goodness, Prince Edward.
Because it was before. It was right. Yeah, because it was Elizabeth's father who took over. That was a big trauma for the monarch, for the royal family. This, although there's not a technical application, is just as damaging. They came through it before. God willing, they will come through it again.
Yes, I'm hoping they will. The queen must step up, and she is starting to do that. And I think that this is how they'll get through it, with a good smackdown, like I like to say on my show. You just got to get it to them where it hurts. Make them learn the hard way, and then things will start to go on the right, straight and narrow is what I like to say.
And even we fought a war in this country to get rid of the king and the monarchy. So that really, we're from England. I mean, America was started by British. So even though we don't want the monarchy here, they're still a very important institution in the world for how many thousands of years. So it's sad to see that this is going on. They're not a ruling monarchy. They're a constitutional monarch now. So they're done, not giving all the laws and the punishments to people like they did in the past. But still, they are a long-standing institution, and I think we both wish them well coming through this.
Absolutely, and especially Prince William, because really he is the one who is going to be the one ruling that is going to be affected by the things that Harry and Meghan are doing right now.
Right. I agree. And
thank goodness he's got a wife on her head with a good head on her shoulders, because
he did good. He found a good one.
He found a good one. Yes. She don't create no waves. That's what I like about her. She's a good woman.
Wonderful. She's a good role model. Yes. Now, before we go, can we see Otis, your little buddy?
Yes, we can. Otis, come here. Come here, treat. Want a treat?
Otis makes appearances on your show once in a while, and I want the viewers to see him.
Come here, Otis.
Uh-oh.
He's over here asleep. Let me grab him for you. Here we go.
There's Otis.
He comes
Hi, Otis.
He sleeps down here. I have my door open, so he's free to come and go, but he chooses to be in here. He loves it. I think it comforts him, and he has really become my buddy. I mean, this is really my daughter's dog. I have a video coming out about this, but I'm not an animal person. And because I'm the one taking on the responsibility, because my daughter, I'm still trying to teach her responsibility, he has grown attached to me, because he's the one who knows, well, that's how I'm gonna get my food. That's how I'm gonna go out to the bathroom. This is how I'm gonna get everything I want by hanging out with this woman. And this is why he's with me all the time. So
we like to see Otis on the show.
Yeah,
but okay, so viewers can go to YouTube and look at PDina, PDINA, and you have a lot of viewers. I mean, you have tens of thousands of people that watch your shows all the time.
Yes, and I'm very grateful for that.
Fabulous. But like I said, I encourage people to watch them because you do have learning lessons. They're royally teachable moments. So that's what makes you stand out among others. So I appreciate you coming on today. Thank you. And Otis, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It's great. Thank you.
We'll have to do it again next year if something else comes along.
Yes,
bye, Otis.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time when we take another look beyond the red carpet.